Hello, Will Perry here. Welcome to the Keeping the Conversation Alive conversation. You don't want to go through life or come to a certain point in life and say, I should have tried harder. You don't want that. You don't want regrets in life. And that's what this is about, and how to break out of the negative patterns that hold you back. Welcome. Nice to have you here again. Do subscribe and all that stuff, and link to get the emails. These received in emails, just short bursts each day, Monday to Friday, to keep the conversation alive, because you need to keep the conversation alive. If he looks at the bottom, this is going on. And this is going on for 80% of us. So we get distracted with all the other stuff, the problems in life. But actually, there's a deeper core issue, which I call the mother of all beliefs, that's ruling you and running you. And that's what causes these regrets. That's what's holding us back. And that's the stuff that I work on, that I want to get a message out there that you might be struggling with too. Not many people are pointing towards that. They're pointing towards the other stuff. So I don't want you coming to a certain point in life saying, "Oh no, I wish I'd tried harder. I should have tried harder." Wishes and shoulds are negative, and they're out of your control. Yeah, they're negative, aren't they? They're not powerful, empowering words. It's like it's not good. So there's a simple and powerful technique that I use on the beginning of the program. I've experienced it in NLP, neuro linguistic programming, but I'm sure it's an old thing that's come. It's a technique to help people realize and take action. It's called the predictable future exercise, and it's just about seeing yourself in 5 years, 1 year from now, without having made any change. What would you see, hear, feel? What would you see around you? What would you look like? What would your environment be? What would the friends around you, the family? What would the situation be? What would you see? What would you feel? What would you hear in a year's time? And then you do that in 5 years' time, and then you go 15 years' time, and then but really stepping into that and bringing it forward into bringing it to the now, really sensing it, using your senses to really imagine what that's like, and really get a sense of that until you get to the comfortably and without pain or anything or suffering, come to your deathbed in ripe old age after a full life. Not that we're all so lucky, but get to that point, and then looking back on your life, what do you regret? And the point of that being, and maybe you've heard of that sort of thing, the point of that thing is like, we hold on to things that we should have done, could have done, wish we had done, but realise then it's too late. And it's very empowering, I think, and moving if you hear these things of stories of people that are on their deathbeds who realise the value of life and what they have, that it's not about the money, it's not about the things we gather, it's about, well, you go and check it out and you surmise for yourself what it's all about. But the regrets are negative things, and the point of that exercise is what in NLP terms we call it a tipping point, to help you get to a tipping point, to go, shit it, fuck it, I'm going to take action. It's about taking that action. It's about getting you to the point of, oh, right, I'm not going to let that happen. That sounds terrible. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to change now. I'm going to change my course slightly, which is going to have a massive impact in a few years' time, even though it's step by step. Now, incremental change in a few years' time will make a difference. You don't want the regret of, I should have tried harder, but ... lots of excuses, lots of reasons. You can look at the webinar for that. I talk about that in the webinar, which is just half an hour. I cut it down to half an hour. In fact, 32 minutes. I really condensed it in there to keep your attention in these times of spamming of distractions. So I don't want you to be held back and realise that you were being holding that the holding back was your negative belief, and that it was false and not real, but you thought it was true. And that's how the mother of all belief works. And that's why we're generation trapped. What I'm saying is that we are generation trapped because we've got all these issues going on. I'll do another one on stats, actually, but because I think it's just mind-boggling, the stats. But the World Health Organization, before the pandemic, said that there were 284 million people around the world suffering with anxiety, 300 million suffering with depression. And we know from various different sources that that's gone up by about 65% during the pandemic, and that is horrific. So the issues are just growing. We haven't got a solution. A pill doesn't solve it. We haven't got a solution for that because people aren't looking at the real issue. And that's what this is all about. That's the work I do, and that's what I got so tenacious about. That's what I'm passionate about, looking to where the real issues are. So changing the mother of all beliefs so you don't have that point of going, oh, I wish I tried harder, because I see now that it was a false belief that was holding me back, but I couldn't see that it was a belief in there, because you can't see the beliefs. A bit like the farmyard smell. You don't smell the smell because you're so used to it, you're so inoculated to it, you're so normalized to it that you can't smell it. You can smell a rose. So the farmer can smell a rose, but he can't smell the air. But he can. It's fresh air to him. But the city boy comes in, and my impression of a city boy. All right, mate. All right. So that's my impression of a city boy. But the city boy comes in. It stinks in here, mate. Can't stand the smell, and can barely smell the rose because of the domination of the farmyard smell. But the farmer is inoculated to it. Maybe he's been brought up around it all his life, and fresh air to him. So how can we see these things that are so part of us, so inoculated, so normalized in our minds, that we can't even smell them, but yet we can still smell a rose? So it's a wonderfully dynamic, and there's so many strings attached to it, and it's such a difficult thing to work out and see. And that's what I want to help you do. See. Look at the stats. 80% of people suffer with low self-esteem, and that's what this is all about. So I don't want you to be held back and realize that, oh God, my regret is because I had a low self-worth and I didn't realize it. So look into this stuff. Take a moment to understand this stuff. I've got loads of resources on it, because you absolutely have the potential. Oh no, I don't. I'm no good. I'm useless. That's it. That's it. That stuff. If we could get prop. If I could. It's been a while since I've done this, and now because I'm panicking and doing it in a rushed manner, I can't do it. So let's just do it one thingy. I'll cover that one up. So if I could just plug this in and get your thoughts by just a minute, I'll just plug it into your head there. Oh God. Yeah, see those negative thoughts. When I say you absolutely have the potential, I can hear all the crap saying, no, you don't. No, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. Other people can do it. It's Jesus. It's terrible. I don't want to listen to that. You shouldn't be listening to it, but that's the stuff that you're not even listening to, because it's like the farmyard smell. You can't even smell it. You don't even notice it. It's so deep in the subconscious, and that's steering you, holding you back, putting the blinkers on your life, putting the handbrake on in your life, whilst others are shooting past, and it's all right for them. It's all right for them. It's like, oh, why isn't it good for me? Why isn't it? That's the victim triangle. I'll do more of that as well. See, I'm feeding my stuff with loads of topics. There's so much to talk about, and that's when you're in an area, a field where you can never run out of stuff. That's in a field that you're passionate about. So you absolutely have the potential, though you think you don't. All right, and that's the point. There, that's the mother of all beliefs. So my invitation to you is to take the test. And the reason that that's so powerful, the reason I point towards a test rather than come and have a conversation with me, rather than come and look at that video, or come and take the test. It takes 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes. And it's a black and white thing. It's like, it's not tied to me. Oh, well, you can dismiss that because Will's so-and-so. I found out Will got divorced. Oh, twice. Oh, 3 times. Oh, you dismiss stuff. But something that's reliable and a test, black and white, responds on your answers. And yes, you can manipulate it if you want. Say, no, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. Oh, look, I'm fine. You can do that if you want. Pointless. But if you answer it honestly, it's reliable. And that comes out with the score. And if it's 15 or lower, this is all about you. You're in the 80%. So it's really simple. If your score is 15 to 21, kind of that low, particularly 15 to 18. Then you're maybe egging yourself up a bit, or you've done work to overcome your low self-esteem, in which case that's a great thing. That's why it's good to get your score in early, because seeing it grow is just a magnificent and confirming thing, because you're taking away from the 80% towards the 20%. And guess who achieves? Who are the people that don't hold themselves back? All right. So, and guess who are the ones that have less regrets at the end of life? And I want that for you. And I want you to have less regrets rather than, oh shit, I was held back by this false, crappy things. I understand where they come from now. I understand, I want to give you this stuff because I've been struggling with it for over 13 years. And it's like, how come I'm struggling? So I put my tenacity to work in that one. I went through the pain, so you don't have to. That's a nice thing, isn't it? I'm so anyway. Yeah, just joking. But yeah, come take the test. That's the reason it's so powerful, because it's not tied to a person, and it's easy to dismiss a person. It's tied to a reliable test, and it's a really quick and easy and a confidential test. I don't see the results. You could tell me them if you want, but there's nothing in there to say, tell me your results. So it's completely confidential, and you get the results instantly. So if you do have low self-esteem, low self-worth, please dive into this subject. Contact me, say, right, where next if you want. But this is, find out more, because I don't want you to have those regrets that others have had. I don't want you to be held back. I want you to achieve the things that you want in life, but also that I want you to help change the world. And I think that's a cool place, because as you'll see in our free group, there's tons of resources highlighting the issues in the world and the planet at the moment. And this is a very interesting time to be alive, and we can be responsible for that. Yeah, I'll leave it there. All right, many thanks. No, I'll get into the habit of doing this. So take the test. That's the biggest takeaway from this one. Take the test. Also, please comment, like, subscribe. Help me share the message, spread the message. I no doubt will start advertising soon, but I'm not there yet. So it's all organic at the minute, which sounds cool as well. That sounds very vegan. So lots of love. Speak to you soon. Loves you, Boya. Bye-bye.